Now to a 10 on your side investigation that's taken a year to resolve. Wavy News 10's Cheryl Tan brought you this story last May.
It's about a military recruiter who the Army says violated the public's trust. You may remember these pictures taken from a Norfolk home that he rented. Inside this mess, though, the landlord found reams of paper with the private information of hundreds of potential recruits.
Well, now the Army has wrapped up its investigation into allegations against Staff Sergeant Cary Harvey. And tonight, we hear from the people who are still affected by his actions 1 year later.
It just shows a lack of disrespect.
That may be an understatement. 1 year ago, 10 on your side showed you the mess left behind by a wayward tenant in Norfolk. Dirty, sure. We're told that pot in the attic held feces. But why does the military care? Because mixed in with the trash in the seemingly abandoned, unlocked home, the landlord found personal information for hundreds of potential Army recruits. The renter was an Army recruiter, a man identified by the landlord as Staff Sergeant Cary Harvey.
He violated our regulations on maintaining the documents in a secured location within the recruiting station.
Nearly a year after 10 on your side first showed you these pictures, the Army is finally talking publicly about the case. Douglas Smith is the spokesman for the U.S. Army Recruiting Command. Smith says Staff Sergeant Harvey has been punished, though he will not go into detail about the punishment.
Sergeant Harvey has been taken off of recruiting duty during the period that he was under investigation.
And according to the Army, Staff Sergeant Harvey will not be returning to recruiting duties. 10 on your side tracked this woman down a year ago from information found inside Harvey's rented home. Her son was a potential recruit.
I actually believe, he should have been discharged.
We reached out and contacted every one of the applicants whose personal information was found in the rental home.
But this mother says the only information she's received about this is from us.
My son's name, address, social security number, and phone number, as well as mine, and his father was on that paperwork, and no one took the time out to contact us, not from the United States Army.
I'm beyond being angry, and I'm tired, and I'm disappointed.
1 year later, there's still disappointment for a landlord who's been stuck with the bill.
We work, but we're not really well off to do things obviously the way that we would like to do. Had that been the case, we would turn this place around in just a few days.
Landlord Dwight Jones took Harvey to civilian court and won thousands of dollars in damage, of which he has not seen a penny.
Obviously, if you have individuals who are willing to, in my opinion, to lie, to steal and cheat, then they are wrong and they don't need to be wearing the uniform.
Is Staff Sergeant Cary Harvey then a reflection of what Army recruiting is?
I think it speaks for itself that we removed the sergeant pending the investigation, and we have no plans to put the sergeant back on recruiting duty.
For one landlord, though, the trust has been shattered. Staff Sergeant Cary Harvey wasn't his first tenant, but it very likely will be his last. Cheryl Tan, 10 on your side.
Now, the Army says in its investigation it found no cases of identity theft stemming from this situation.